Okay, so PC. Basics. PC hardware basics only, basic part only. So not we don't go with that. So this is hardware basics. Okay, so here is a link. Okay, up to now, guys, I have added everything into your. Okay, so but refer more about in your PPT only. So mostly I will take it data from your PPT only. Yes, mostly the pictures, whatever I collected and all, it is there. Otherwise, we can create it for you once. So these are the different components we use in our basic hardware components, means internal components. So what we are saying, it is internal components. Okay. Okay, so different components we use in the networking, guys. So most of the time people call a CPU as a thing, like they see this cabinet and call this cabinet as a CPU. You know, some people believe laptop don't have any CPU. Okay, so it's a wrong concept. Then why it is blinked? Okay. Yes, okay. This is a cabinet. So this empty one, we call it as a cabinet. So inside this cabinet, we have a different components. So first of all, the list of components inside a inside cabinet, inside a cabinet. What it is? CPU is there, RAM is there, ROM is there. ROM is not as a component, but it is both the RAM and ROM on motherboard only. Okay, motherboard. Okay, so ROM is actually is not a direct component. It is on motherboard component. It is motherboard, hard disk, or SSDs, CD-ROM, DVDs, SMPS, of course, floppy disks are there. Okay, so these are the basic components, and of course here is a one block diagram, traditional block diagram. It is so we give an input from input devices like a keyboard to our processor. The processor process it and store data in memory, or if it is required, it retrieve the data from memory or instructions from memory, and give the output on the output device like a monitor. This is the traditional block diagram. Okay. So of course later this block diagram concept also changes. We'll see that next. So this is already I told. So inside a cabinet, what are the components outside of the cabinet? What are the components outside of the cabinet? These are the kind of stuff. Some are not directly for a desktop, but also for a laptop also there. So that's I given all the things, the list. Okay, look at here. Outside of the cabinet things are like a keyboard. You'll connect a keyboard outside now, so keyboard is not inside your cabinets. Keyboard, mouse is a pointer device. Okay, monitor. So you want to do anything in your system, you have to see, and then only you can able to do it. So compulsory monitor is required. It's output device. Okay, without connecting keyboard, mouse, or monitor, system will run. But to work with the system, we need these things: keyboard, mouse, monitor, kind of stuff, right? Next one is printers and scanners. What is a printer, guys? What are the documents in your PC, in your mobile phone, in your PC or laptop or your mobile phone? The document or a picture is a soft copy. Okay, whatever the format it is soft copy only. If you take a printout, so you copy it on a paper, so then it is a hard copy. Soft copy, hard copy. What is a scanner? So you have a document, like you have got a certificate, college certificate is there, or a document is there, a paper certificate, or a picture is there. You scan it and put it into your computer. So that is a soft copy. Okay. Of course, touch pads. So for a mouse purpose, like normally we use for any desktop, we use a mouse compulsory. But in a laptops, we are getting a touch pads for a mouse pointing purpose. Touch screens also there. Through touch screen, you can able to give input. So the laptops or tablets, mobile phones are having a touch screen facilities are there. So using a touch input, we can able to give input, right? So like you want to select an application, you can simply select an application. You can run an application like that. Touch screens. Mic and speakers. Now you are able to listen because of you are hearing voice from speaker. I am speaking. The my voice is observed from taken by mic. My voice is taken by mic, and then it is give it to a audio chip process, and give it to a processor. Then finally that process things will happen, right? So the mic and speakers. The mic is take input as an audio input. Speaker will give you audio output. Card readers, Bluetooth devices. These are other components. Okay, memory card readers are there. Bluetooth devices. You can nowadays you can connect different Bluetooth devices, right? You know, like your headphones, kind of stuff. External hard disk. Okay, so still a lot of people are not using these external hard disks. A lot of people are going to external hard disks, but some people still store data in their laptops. Okay, even this data is full, like unnecessary data. I'm talking, not using regular data. If you have a data that is you are not using regularly, like movies, music files, like we are not required that much of data stored in your laptop. Still they store in the laptop. So better to copy into the external hard disk. Or if you have very important data, better to take a backup into the external hard disk. So you have a important data in your laptop, so better to take it as a backup and put it into the external hard disk. Joysticks, you know, that is a gaming controllers. So not only through keyboard input, you can also use a joystick kind of stuff to play games. Okay. These are also input kind of stuff. Okay, so these are the components of a devices. Okay, some are internal components, some are outside of a PC. Okay, so I think you got the point, guys. Cabinet means this is box. This box is called a cabinet. Inside a cabinet, we put all the components, and we to operate this computer, so we connect to the cabinet. Okay. Guys, okay up to now? So guys, next one is processor. Processor or CPU. CPU means central processing unit. What is CPU? Central processing unit. It is nothing but a single chip. Okay, the cabinet is not your CPU. I given an entire mail presentation. Chandrasekhar. Okay, next. What is a processor? Processor or a CPU, central processing unit. It is nothing but a single chip. Okay, it is a brain of a computer. So, your computer operations will occur at processor only. Without a processor, it is not even a computer. So, compulsory processor is required. Of course, it is a semiconductor device that is not a important. Okay. So, what processor will do? Arithmetic and logical functions, the arithmetic and logical operations done by your processor only. It is a brain of a computer. Okay. Next, the how processor is look like. Okay. So this is the old processors. Okay. So there are somewhat old processors. Okay. So the look is different. So just to understand the look, that's it. It's not more than that one. Just for look purpose only, guys. So what is a processor? So central processing unit. It is nothing but a chip. It is look like this. So we insert this chip on the motherboard. You can see this is the motherboard socket. So we process socket it is. This is the motherboard processor socket. We insert a processor into this socket and we close that lid. Okay. So it is not separate one. Okay. Okay. So when you want to buy a processor, when you want to take a processor, okay, so first of all, different manufacturer of processors are there. Nowadays, guys, mobile phone also having a processor, of course. Even it is a smartphone or a future phone, small phone, okay, different manufacturers are there. So main computer based processors are Intel. One of the main competitor is Intel. The next one is AMD. Intel and AMD. So of course, different phone, mobile phone. If you take mobile phone, then you will get a Qualcomm Snapdragon, right? Snapdragon processor is there. Qualcomm Snapdragon, MediaTek, Exynos, something like a different processors. we are getting for a mobile phones, then we'll see mobile phone, right? But in a computers and laptops, means desktops and laptops kind of stuff, mainly processors, Intel or a AMD. In Intel also different type of processors are there. In AMD also different type of processors also there. You know, this is a small history about Intel, which is not required to, I'm not telling, just I'm telling you only simple way, guys. So first processor from Intel is a 4004 4-bit processor. Then 8008 8-bit processor and different processors 8080, 8081, 8082 like that. So next highlighted processor is 8085. After that one 8086. This is important processor. So from 8086, this is a new technique is implemented. So that's why 80186, 286, 386, 486, 586, different type of processors came from this Intel. You know, after this is Pentium 1 is launched. Pentium 1, Pentium 2, Pentium 3, Celeron processor, Pentium 4 Extreme processors also released into market. Then dual core processor, Pentium Gold processor, Pentium M processors also came into market. Xeon processors, usually Xeon processors used for a server's purpose. Our desktop we are using i3, i5, i7, but for servers they use Xeon processor, Intel Xeon processors. Okay. Now more popular processors are i3, i5, i7. These are the mainly highlighted processors nowadays. In a processor, guys, there is a 32-bit processor and 64-bit processors are there. Nowadays, we have a 32-bit processors and 64-bit processors are there. So, yeah, that's the point here. So, here it is. When you want to buy a processor, so whether it is Intel or AMD, compulsory go through their certain details. What are those details are required? What is the processor speed? Okay, what is the processor speed? So why it is this is good anyway. Guys, there is a processor. Okay, so first of all, check the speed of processor. So we already seen system specifications, right? Processor specifications. We are already seen what is the CPU, right? That's it's the first class. Okay, so this is 2.6 gigahertz is my clock speed. Okay, so make sure that what is your processor clock speed. And I want to buy a processor. I want to buy a processor. How to buy a processor? Maybe I go to Amazon.com, computers, right? Guys, lot of people, still they don't know the simplest thing is I want to learn about new hardware components like technology released, hardware, laptop, mobile kind of stuff. What kind of technologies So they will go to the different tech blocks are there, tech blocks, okay, tech digits, digital version kind of stuff, okay. So they go to tech blocks. They'll give an articles that is also good. You can read the article, but in a really it is outside. It is available, and any other details about it. So we don't know, right? So my point is, you can go through the tech blocks, but also sometimes if you required or not required, go through this e-commerce websites and go through different type of laptops, desktops, different components. It is mini PC component, tower PC, mini PC, all-in-one PC, stick PCs. So different type of PCs are available, different processor available, RAMs available. So how to buy those things like that, you can able to check it. I selected desktops. That's it is showing a main desktop list. I'm going to components. Components is my very vast. So processors. See, it is not showing a processor. Intel i5 third generation 3570 processor. Ryzen 5, Ryzen 3, i5. This is also third generation. Okay. So latest one is a 12th generation. So i5 10th generation. i3 12th generation. Okay, so you can select anything. Just I'm selecting this. This is i7. This is 12th generation cast, third generation cast of older. Okay, the 13th generation i5. That's okay like this. So what I'm trying to do what I'm trying to show you is, for example, I will go to any new one. New one is better, right? So it is i7 12th generation. Okay, can you see this is the number? Core i7, Intel i7 12th generation processor. And can you get what are the things? It is 4.9 gigahertz clock speed. 4.9 gigahertz clock speed. 25 MB cache memory. 25 MB cache memory. And how many logical processor? Totally 12 core processor it is. It is a 12 core processor. 8 performance cores, 4 efficiency cores, 20 threads, means 12 core, 20 thread processor it is. Okay, and supporting RAM, the details also we will get it. What kind of RAM it will support? It will support up to 4800 megahertz DDR5 RAM or a 3200 megahertz DDR4 RAM also it will support. Okay, built-in graphics. Okay, internal graphics are 770 UHD graphics. 770 is there. Of course it is a 64-bit, and motherboard supporting is these type of series. Motherboard supporting is there. Okay, if you want to buy buy a processor, means you have to buy a motherboard, right? So motherboard series also must be in this type of series. And the socket type means you have a processor, means you have to insert into a socket. That is LGA 1700 type of socket it is. This is a RAM and other combination. See, if you are want to buy this one with 32,800, the motherboard supporting B660M. B660M. These are two type of same model. With little difference is there. Okay. Basic standard CC LGA 700 DDR4 we can able to insert it. Here it is DDR5 we can able to insert it. So the both are motherboards, but this motherboard support DDR4. This motherboard support DDR5, and this is LGA 1700. This is also LGA 1700. Means You take this processor, it support this and as well as this one also. Okay, but if you select this one, if you take this motherboard, you can use only DDR4. If you take this motherboard, you can use DDR5. Like that's the difference. And it is also support this processor. It is 13th generation because LGA 1700. If you take this LGA 1700 i7, then this motherboard is suitable, I think so. So you have to check the compatibility. So I told from Amazon.com, I want to tell details of this processor from a Intel website only. So when I search in a Google about a processor and their number, so you can get these details. So link is there, arc.intel.com or intel.com. So first of all, can you see like this? This is the model, 12 cores, 20 threads. Okay, clock speed, base clock speed also it will get, you can get it. L2 cache, L2 cache is itself 12 MB and L3 cache is 25 MB. 65 watts processor it is. Maximum turbo power is 180, means you need a big SMPS, and it support 128 GB total RAM capacity. Up to 128 GB RAM you can use if you take this RAM, take this processor. Okay, and what type of RAMs, DDR4 or DDR5 RAM, we can able to use it. Either two RAMs, either it is DDR4 2 RAMs or DDR5 2 RAMs maximum. Maximum is 2 RAM support is. And integrated graphics. This is a integrated graphics with the UHD graphics 770. Okay. And other details you can see. So OpenCL support, like a DirectX support is 12. Display resolution support for HDMI, like a 4K display type it is. I need one more details, that is called a virtualization technology. It is a 64-bit, see, instruction set is 64-bit. Okay, virtualization technology is enabled. Of course, lot of things are enabled inside. So what we need, a virtualization technology. Like that, guys, we have to gather information. What is it? Speed. We should find a speed of the processor. And next, width, bandwidth means not bandwidth, it's a 64-bit processor or a 32-bit processor. Of course, 16-bit processor not there now. So it's 32-bit processor or a 64-bit. Nowadays, most of the processors are 64-bit processors only. Okay. FSB. FSB means FSB. I will add this thing. FSB means RAM model and speed, clock speed. Okay, so I showed now. So what is FSB? This is FSB. So FSB means it's a front side bus. So yeah, if you want the RAM must be equivalent to FSB speed. Okay, FSB speed. So that's why it is I have written. So compulsory know what type of RAM support is there and what is the speed of RAM. Cache memory. So mainly L3 cache memory. So L2 and L3 cache memory, mainly L3 cache memory. So you can see it is the cache memory, 25 MB cache memory. Number of cores per processor, number of threads per processor. That is, we are already there. So for this processor, how many number of cores? 12 cores, because 8 plus 4, 12 cores are there, and 20 threads processor is there. So more number of cores increases and more threads increases, the processor speed is very high. So, okay, depends upon that. Okay, so processor speed we can easily determine. Its a clock speed is one thing. Okay, clock speed is of course. Okay, the speed means the clock speed is a one side, but other side, guys, the total system performance based on number of cores and number of threads. Threads are a logical processor. So both are same. Number of threads are a logical processors. Okay. Next one is cache memory. Okay. Higher the number of cores, double the threads means 2 core, 4 threads. Good processor compared to 2 core, 2 threads compared to this is better processor. 4 core 8 means minimum double is required. So we have seen 12 core 20, which is also good. Means not only not directly double, but it is still it is good. Okay, number of cores, number of threads, and cache memory. Cache memory, bigger the cache memory, better performance. Not only a speed of processor, it is showing clock speed, but also very important is number of cores, number of threads, and the cache memory is a main indication for a better processor. Okay, of course, guys, most of the times it is 64-bit only we are buying. Okay, and what I said, type of RAM support and virtualization technology should be there because nowadays all are 64. So generally our new processors are supporting virtualization technology, but better to check once virtualization technology is enabled or not. If you see my processor is supporting virtualization, it is enabled. What is the advantage of virtualization technology? What is the advantage of virtualization technology part? Guys, this is my laptop. Think like this is my laptop. In my laptop, I have a hardware, of course, and operating system. My operating system is Windows 10 Home Edition, of course, and my hardware i5 processor, 12 GB RAM, and of course, disk space is also there. 500 GB hard disk. We need is free disk space is required. Now, I want to take a new class. So, for example, if my cognizant student batch is started, then I have to teach Linux. Maybe I want to do some practice on the DevOps related practice. I need a Linux PC for that one. Instead of installing my physical machine, I will create a virtual machine. Okay, it is a 64-bit virtual machine with a Linux 64 I am installing. Linux 64-bit I want to install. So that's why it is Linux 64-bit virtual machine I am creating. Okay, so it is main machine is Windows 10 Home, but virtual machine is Linux. And next, something I want to do a certain practical on the some Windows 10 Enterprise Edition. So, okay, so I create a virtual machine. I install Windows 10 Enterprise Edition, that is also a 64-bit. Maybe I need a server, Windows Server 2019, this compulsory 64. Linux and Windows may have a 32 up, but this server part, 16, 12, these are servers are 64-bit. Okay, what are the bit number, guys? So I have a one machine with a Windows 10, but I can run Linux, Windows 10 Enterprises or Pro or Windows Server 2019. How it is possible? Because of virtualization. Usually I use VMware Workstation for that one. VMware Workstation is an application. With the help of this application, I can create these virtual machines. I can run the virtual machine. To create and run the virtual machine in your processor, this virtualization technology must be enabled. Then only it is possible. Okay, to run a multiple guest operating system in a single physical machine, we need a virtualization. Guys, understand up to here?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is about your processor, and I told about 32-bit, 64-bit. It is 32-bit, 64-bit. Mainly, your instruction set is 32-bit in 32-bit processor, 64-bit in a 64-bit. So guys, every data is in binary format, right? So first of all, we have seen these names, everything in the binary format, right? You put a letter. For example, A is a letter. How many bits A will occupy? There is no rule. So it depends upon your processor. Your processor is 32-bit processor. A is 32-bit size. If it is processor is 64-bit processor, it is A is in 64-bit size. So how to put in a 64-bit socket means that word size. Okay. So it's not like A is filling that much. It is depends upon one instruction size, one data size. Okay, so that one single data size is 64-bit size. How much it will be inserting, that is depends upon the system. Whatever the data is, it will convert into the bit. So usually 8 bits only. Every bit is 8 bit. Everything is 8 bit wise only. Okay, it has to put it into this thing. Don't worry. So if you go to that much, no confusion. Okay. Again, guys, look at here. Your system architecture or your processor bit, all names are same. 32-bit processor, 64-bit processor. So your processor is 32-bit. Your device drivers, operating systems, everything must be 32-bit. Your processor is 64-bit. Your device drivers, operating system is 64-bit. 5 minutes.
5 minutes అయితే మనం మాకు
Hmm?
5 minutes అయితే మేము పోతాం.
It's in okay. Next one, guys. So if you are using a 64, why 64 is become more popular nowadays? And if you are using a 64, are you able to hear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If you are using a 64, okay, what are the benefits are there? 64-bit means the size of single instruction is increasing, means you can write more complex instruction. So normally you can do A plus B. Okay, that is a like a not LKG, but first class, second class, you do a plus minus operations, right? Simple instruction, A plus B, A minus B, like that. Now, complex means little higher than that one. Maybe you do board master like a multiplication, divisions, some formulas you can able to run, then it is become more complex than plus and minus, right? So compared to 32-bit processor, 64-bit processor can run complex instructions. Okay, a big data, big size data, we can able to process it. But when we can able to run complex, big size instructions, big size data, of course, we need a more RAM capacity, more disk size capacity also requirement is there. People think 32, 64, 64 is faster. No, no, no. The faster is not that point. Complexity increases. Complex tasks we can able to do with a 64 much easier compared to 32-bit. Okay. So, and multi-core processing is very easy. 2-core, 4-thread processor, that kind of multi-core processing is very easy with a 64 because complex instructions. Okay, it is support a UEFI, means it is a newer version of BIOS. BIOS is your nothing but your ROM. So BIOS is a program which is firmware in your ROM chip. Next level of BIOS is UEFI. This device digital signature is enforcement is there. Virtualization technology, 64-bit virtual machines we can able to run in the machine. Okay, so virtualization technology support in the 64-bit. OS in the physical machine called a host OS. OS in the virtual machine called a guest OS. So that is the point I added here. That's it. Not important, but important in different manner. Not here, but I added. Okay, so this is the difference between 32-bit and 64-bit. Okay, up to here. Okay, guys.
Yes, sir.
This is about a heat sink on the processor. What is heat sink? Your processor is getting heated while it is running. While it is running, the processor is getting heated. Okay. Processor is getting heated while it is running. If you don't put this heatsink or heatsink fan, the processor is getting overheated and processor will damage. So what to do? You have to place the heatsink on the processor and the fan assembly. Make sure fan is running. The temperature in the inside this processor will run better way. Okay. In between the processor, I've seen something another picture right like this. Okay. In between processor and heat sink, there is a heat sink paste is there. Okay, there is a heat sink paste is there. That is enough. Okay. So what is the use of this heat sink paste? When processor is getting heated, the heat is distributed to heat sink and heat sink absorb the heat, and because of this airflow, heat sink is getting cold. So like that, it maintain the temperature in the heat sink. But there is a problem. Okay. What it is, if you don't put this heatsink paste properly or you cleaned it or heatsink is not installed properly, processor is getting overheated. Processor is getting overheated. To protect from overheating, what processor is doing, what system is doing? System will restart your PC without showing any error. Guys, remember your system is keep restarting itself without showing any error. There is a possibility, there is a one possibility, that is processor is getting overheated. Processor is getting overheated. To protect the from processor damage, system restart itself. What is the possibility? Heatsink is not sitting properly, or heatsink fan is not running, or heatsink paste is not applied or cleaned. Next one is the dust on the heatsink. The entire thing is got full of dust. It is very difficult to clean, and or maybe it is not cleaned properly. properly, it is getting overheated. So this is the point. Okay, take a break, guys. Next, we will discuss about a RAM and ROM. Okay, take a break. Take a 10 minutes of break.
Sir,
Tell me.
sir, after how many days we have to again apply the heating paste in our system?
Not required. So once you are applied, if everything is running fine, no need. But usually 3 to 5 years it works. If you don't open, if you don't clean it, means if you erase it like that, you have to clean compulsory fan and this one frequently. If it is dust is full, better to clean it. Okay.